Almost 1010 XL.
I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing.
The station that covers the Jaguars day in and day out. WJXL AM and FM, Jacksonville Beach. This is 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, let's talk hardball. This is River City Hardball, presented by D-Bat Jacksonville. Here's your host, Andrew Gibson.
And good morning, Jacksonville. It is River City Hardball here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We are presented by D-Bat Jacksonville, D-Bat Green Cove. And we talk baseball here in the local area, high school, college, pro. And, man, what a tremendous pleasure it is to kick off and lead off, I should say, the show today with the guys from Trinity Christian Academy on their way to the Final Four in Fort Myers. They leave tomorrow morning at 9:15, and joining us in studio right now, John Murphy, the head coach. He's got a couple players with us. John, good morning.
Good morning. Appreciate you having us, Gibby.
Absolutely, man. Well, it's, last year you guys were able to join us, and this year you're in another Final Four, so congratulations. John, tell the audience who you brought with you today.
Yeah, so today we've got Ethan Wheeler, right-handed pitcher and outfielder for us, hits in the middle of our lineup and second innings on the team. And then we got Braden McKee, who's our catcher, committed to Flagler. Ethan's committed to Florida. Braden's committed to Flagler, catcher for us. And so I brought these guys in to talk a little bit about our upcoming games.
Awesome. Well, Ethan, let's start with you. Good to see you again. We had you throw out one of the first pitches last year at the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp game. That was a lot of fun. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Step up to the mic there for a little bit more, Ethan. You're on your way to Florida, right? You're committed to the Gators?
Yes, sir. I was out there yesterday, actually.
Ah, that's awesome. You guys have, man, what a turnaround Sully's done with that team this year, huh?
Yeah, I was talking to my dad earlier in the year. We weren't worried. That's what he always does. Finds a way to win.
You know, it's cool, Ethan. You know, Florida typically has a lot of guys from the Jacksonville area. You know, namely somebody that I'm sure you know pretty well, Aiden King from Bishop Snyder. Pitched last night. He's been a tremendous pitcher for them. I mean, how cool is that going to be to join Florida, number one, but to be involved and be a part of a team that has some local guys there too in Gainesville?
Yeah, it's going to be really cool, especially because obviously I already know Aiden King, and we're not like super close, but I know him, and we've talked. It'll just be cool to have somebody that is from the same area as you and you can connect with on a different level.
Braden McKee joins us as well. Braden, how are you this morning?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Good. I know that you're coming back from injury. How has that process been? How excited are you to get back in the field?
Oh, I'm very excited. You know, it's senior year, kind of a sucky way to go out, but I did everything possible to make sure I could come back and help the team win when we need it most. So I'm excited.
How do you guys, Braden, I'll start with you on this. How do you guys feel about where your team is at heading into this Final Four?
I'm extremely confident. I think the last 3 weeks with the 3-game series has really tested us to mentally focus as well as physically focus. So I'm extremely confident that we're going to go do what we know how to do down there.
Ethan, same question for you. I mean, you're around these guys. These are your teammates. You know the pulse of where the team's at. How do you feel about the team right now?
I feel really good, same as McKee. I just think that, especially the last series with how Aaron dominated the first game, and then they kind of came out on us, and obviously I didn't have my best start, and they came out on us in the first few innings, and then to battle back and have a big win, obviously, and hit the walk-off homer. I think that just is going to lead us good into the Final Four. Show that we have to bear down and play baseball. You can lose the game, and especially without the 3-game series, we have to focus on this one game.
Braden McKee, Ethan Wheeler, John Murphy from Trinity Christian Academy. They join us here on River City Hardball, presented by D-Bat Jacksonville, D-Bat Green Cove, on their way to the Final Four. Another trip to Fort Myers. They'll leave tomorrow morning as they head down. And, Coach, tell us about the competition. Who will you guys play on Tuesday? Tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we drew Berkeley Prep down there in the first round. They got an arm, Rivers Curlin. He's committed to Florida State, a lefty, arguably one of the best arms in the state. I think he's got over 120 punch-outs on the year, so it's going to be unbelievably tough challenge for us, but I think the boys are excited for the opportunity and the challenge ahead. When you go down there, you're going to get to play against the best, and we're going to have an opportunity to do that. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
Coach, same question that I asked your boys here. How do you feel about where your team is heading into this Final Four?
Yeah, I feel really good about it. I think Ethan kind of hit the nail on the head. The comeback win always gives you a ton of confidence because there's going to be some things that go our way in the game down there, and there's going to be some things that don't go our way. And so responding to adversity and how you handle that is kind of the sign of who you are as a team. And we faced some pretty serious adversity being down 9-2 with only 6 outs to go in the regional. And it was really cool to see how the boys responded to that. And so we feel like that's going to give us some confidence going into it. We had kind of a funky 2-week break here after we played, but we've had really good practices. We were able to get some good scrimmages in, and so I feel like we were able to lock in, especially these last few days, and kind of get ready to head down there.
Yeah, that's an interesting part. I mean, anytime in any sport, really, when a team has a little bit of a layoff, you kind of want to keep playing, right? And it's an unnatural thing for baseball, typically because you play so many times during a week. I mean, how do you guys? I won't say overcome that because it's a great position to be in. But how do you guys come off of a 2-week break like that?
Yeah, like I said, we tried to get some live at bats in as much as we could. We had our guys throw to each other. Some JV guys stepped up for us, and we were able to throw to our guys, which helped a lot. And so we feel like just trying to stay sharp with our timing. The 2 weeks, honestly, was a little bit of a blessing, I think, for us with Braden battling an injury. It gave him an extra week to get back. So that was really helpful from our standpoint. We didn't mind having that extra break. I feel like we've got him full go now.
Ethan, for those that may not be aware of your playing style, aware of you as a player, how would you describe yourself as a player and tell people about your style on the mound?
As a hitter, I would say I wouldn't even say power-oriented anymore. I just try to put the ball in play, put up good at-bats, and do it, especially the team. On the mound, I would say I'm a power pitcher. I have a little bit of ride. I have a good breaking ball, and I've picked up a splitter this year that's helped me out a lot. But I can sink it if I need to. But I'd say I'm more of a power pitcher. I don't chase strikeouts, but I get strikeouts a good amount.
What would you say is like your pitch mix? What are you kind of going with these days?
4-seam, sinker, slider, curveball, splitter, changeup, whatever one is that day. It's been splitter the last few weeks, but I used to throw changeup, power sinker.
Where's your 4-seam like mile per hour right now?
This year it's been more like 89, 92. Last year I topped 94, but I haven't been back at that number this year.
Coach, I want to go back to you on that real quick. I mean, there's so much chasing of velocity these days. How do you kind of make sure, hey, let's keep a little bit left in the tank and not go max effort every time? How do you kind of, you and your staff, how do you guys kind of manage that with your pitchers?
Yeah, I think just teaching pitchability, and Ethan naturally has really good pitchability. I think that's what separates him from a lot of high school guys. You see guys out there, these posts where a guy will hit 95. I'm always interested after I see that to go look at the stat line. A lot of times you'll see, guy hit 95, he walks 6 guys.
Right.
And it looks great in the Twitter post for those 10-second clip, but can you actually pitch? And that's something that we try to teach. Velocity naturally comes if you do what you need to do with your weight room and the throwing program and all those things. Velocity naturally comes out, and so we don't try to force that of being max effort all the time. Teach the guys how to pitch and let the velocity naturally come.
And about you, Braden, tell us a little bit about your game. I know you're a catcher, right? So tell people a little bit about your game.
Yeah, so I'm a switch hitting catcher.
Switch hitter, wow.
So I've been doing that my whole life, and I think one word to really describe it is just competitive. Like, I don't think you'll find someone that cares more than me in the box. Like, I'm going to go out there and do what I can to help the team. And obviously, baseball is a game of failure. It's not going to happen every time. And I think that's something I just got to probably understand a little bit more. But yeah, I really try to go out there, be as competitive as possible. Behind the plate, being a leader, controlling the diamond, and then doing anything I can in the box to help the team.
Being a switch hitter is really hard. I mean, you know that. I mean, where did that come from? How did you come about to trying to be a switch hitter? Because it's hard enough to hit from one side, right?
Yeah. So honestly, it was just I think from the second I picked up a bat. I've started, golf was actually my first sport, did that lefty, and then when I picked up a bat, I went righty, and then you just keep going back and forth from a young age. You never really know which one is more comfortable, but I think naturally I just kind of swung lefty more, and then always had that option to hit righty against left-handed pitchers, and have been doing that my whole life.
This is something I should probably know, John, but does the FHSAA, do they make a rule that, like, if you have a switch here, hey, they have to hit left this game, or hey, they have to, is there a rule for that?
Yeah, so I think within the at-bat, you have to declare, and it's funny you bring that up, because there was I know in the minor leagues, there was the switch pitcher, is it Pat Vendetti or something like that?
Yeah,
he faced a switch hitter in the minor leagues, and I watched the video, and they went back and forth, And I think they finally looked at the hitter and like, hey, man, you got to pick one. And they made him pick, and then they let the pitcher get the hand advantage. So, yeah, at bat to at bat,
Okay.
you're good. You just have to declare, I think, at the beginning of the at bat.
Now, this is not even close to the level that you guys are at, but I remember playing like rec softball when I was a kid, and we had a guy on our team who was a switch hitter, and nobody knew it, and he switched during an at bat, and the pitcher's like, "Oh my god," and it's softball, and you're having fun, but like didn't realize that he was a switch hitter, and all of a sudden he starts righty, and then he runners on base, and he switches over to left, and he ropes one down the line, and it's a bases clearing triple, and then we're all just having fun with it. But I was just curious to know if they made you declare one way or the other before an at bat, and it sounds like they do.
Yeah, as far as I know, we'll see. Maybe you can try to switch minute back.
Yeah, there you go. Try that out, man.
We'll give them a little scare.
Final few things here for you, Coach. How do you feel about the makeup of this team as compared to last year? Because you guys went to the Final Four last year, came up just a little bit short in the title game. But how do you feel about last year compared to this year? Now, I know for coaches, sometimes it's like trying to pick your favorite kid, right? But how do you feel about comparing last year to this year?
Yeah, so we brought a ton of guys back, which I think helps a lot. Having that experience, a lot of these guys went down there before. The first time, it can be a little eye-opening. Things move a little fast when you get down there. Even just the pregame routine's a little bit different. All of it is kind of out of the norm. And so I think having that experience, we feel like it's going to help us a lot going back. We had some good seniors last year for sure. Maddox Lee, who we lost to Daytona State, and Braden Hanson's at FSCJ. But we had a lot of our guys come back. I believe outside of Maddox, our whole position player group came back, and all of our other arms. And so we hope that'll be an advantage for us going down there again.
Do you guys feel like the competition that you played this year has helped prepare you? Because you guys played in an incredible district this year.
Yeah, our district alone was a gauntlet this year. Our district tournament felt like a regional, honestly. Just trying to get through the district tournament and winning that was quite an accomplishment in and of itself. And so the local competition in Jacksonville is so good, so you always get tested there. We were fortunate enough to kind of play some teams from outside of Jacksonville this year as well, and you're just getting a lot of tight games and close games, and so that becomes kind of the norm for you. And that was the goal this year, to put ourselves and challenge ourselves in some tough situations. You may lose some along the way, that's part of it, but how do you respond, like we said earlier, to that adversity and when you get in those moments? And so we've been challenged with a lot of adversity this year. Our team's responded unbelievably well. I think it's made us even closer than we were at the beginning of the year, and so we're hopeful that that'll give us an opportunity to put our best foot forward when we head down to Fort Myers. Now,
I know you guys go one at a time here, but if you're able to get through Tuesday, who would you play in the championship?
Yeah, so the First Academy and St. Andrews will play, which will be a great game. Two really competitive teams right there going at it, and so we'll hopefully take care of business for our game and then let those two guys duke it out and see who we get between those two.
Final thoughts here with John Murphy, the head coach of Trinity Christian Academy. Also, he's brought in two players into the studio this morning, Ethan Wheeler and also Braden McKee join us. Braden, I want to ask you about your opportunity going to Flagler. Tell people about that, and it's a great program down there, St. Johns County. Tell us a little bit about that opportunity for you.
Yeah, I'm super grateful for the opportunity. The recruiting process isn't easy by any means, and so just having the opportunity to play at the collegiate level, no matter what level it is, I'm super, super grateful for that. And I'm really excited, to be able to play baseball and continue this, athletic career. So, yeah.
Now, you're, again, coming off of an injury, but you feel good? Everything's good going into the Final Four?
Everything is great.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And final thought with you, Ethan. I mean, how excited are you at this moment? Headed to Florida soon. Tell us a little bit about that.
Very excited. I was talking to the coaching staff yesterday whenever I was there, and because I know draft's a thing and college is a thing, but I was telling them I would have no problems with not getting drafted and going to college. I think it'd be great. It'd be a great opportunity. A lot of guys go there, and I mean, even if you don't get drafted out of there, you have a top tier education. You're set up great for the rest of your life. So I think it'd be a great opportunity. I think it'd be a fun thing to go do.
How much is the draft on your mind? Guys like you and Watson, the draft is going to be out there. How much do you guys think about stuff like that?
I would say it's more like a big picture thing more than an everyday thing. Mm-hmm. I would say I think of it maybe, whenever we're talking about it, whenever it's a topic, but I don't think of it, I don't think of it before I go pitch or after I pitch. I think of it more of in a quarterly or every other month kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just it's always around, but it's never a big thing, I would say.
And Coach, that's it's a byproduct of having a really good team, guys that are going to be looked at for the draft. How do you manage maybe the expectations and kind of the draft with your guys?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just you want them to enjoy their high school career, right? Yeah. They're getting pulled in so many different directions. A lot of our guys have an opportunity to commit to a college already, which is really cool. We've had a bunch of pro scouts coming out to watch Aaron and to watch some of our younger guys. this year kind of trying to get out ahead of the 26 draft, which we appreciate that. We think it's an honor and a privilege to be able to even be looked at for our guys. Right. But the biggest thing is just day in and day out. Can we care about our teammates? Can we worry about trying to win the game in front of us? And then all that other stuff kind of takes care of itself, but you just don't want it to rob the joy out of the game where you start getting a little internal and only worry, okay, myself and my draft status. And our guys have done such a good job of not letting that happen for them, and they've been able to focus on each other and focus on the task at hand each and every day.
All right, last thing, Coach, remind people when you play, where you play, who it's against, all those good things for
absolutely.
Tuesday.
So we are Tuesday, the 20th at 10 a.m. We're down in Fort Myers at Hammond Stadium. We're playing against Berkeley Prep for that game. If we're fortunate enough to win, the state championship game would be at noon on Wednesday at Hammond as well.
Awesome. Well, Coach, appreciate your few minutes of your time. Go get them. We appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everything you do for local baseball as well, Gibby. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Braden McKee, Ethan Wheeler, John Murphy. They are on their way to the Final Four in Fort Myers, Trinity Christian Academy, playing for another state championship. Hopefully, they'll grab it in Fort Myers this week, and we appreciate their time. We're going to take a break. When we come back here on River City Hardball, we've got a special guest from D-Bat Green Cove. We'll tell you more about that when we return on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The great thing about live sports, you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, how did he pull that off?
Get the most live play-by-play on 1010XL.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey, don't buy a diamond at one of those big box corporate jewelers in the town center until you see what Beard's Diamonds can offer. Hicken here. Beard's Diamonds will give you a better price on a better quality diamond. Beards, they're not beholden to Wall Street. They are beholden to the people of Jacksonville. Why? Because they're the only locally owned jeweler in the town center. Yes, Beards has the best diamond selection in the region. No middleman prices on hand-picked diamonds. All shapes, all sizes. They also have the top bridal designers like Tacori and Viraggio. And here's something else. Unlike the others, Beards doesn't have commissioned salespeople. Their experts get paid whether you buy something or not. So no pressure, ever. Their associates are diamond experts. They'll teach you how to buy a diamond the smart way. We're really lucky to have Beards here as a refreshing alternative. You get it all. No compromises, highest quality, personal service, no middleman pricing, and unbeatable guarantees. Beards Diamonds, the only locally owned jeweler. They're at the St. John's Town Center.
Spring has sprung, and so have the bugs. It's Hayes Carline and my friends at Kingfish Pest Control offer an exclusive $99 spring special. That's right, your initial pest control service is just $99. And if you call today, they'll include a free one-time mosquito treatment. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned, 5-star rated with no binding contracts, and 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Call them now to book your service. Only at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has branched off from on-road to off-road. Give us the latest on what they've got.
They've got the 250 and the 450. Rick Carmichael designed these bikes himself, and they are bad to the bone.
So you're talking about a really cool effect from a bike off-road that Triumph had on-road forever.
It is, and it's out there winning races, and it is fun to ride.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville, their showroom on Atlantic near Regency, or online on their Facebook page.
This Saturday, Navy Mutual would like to salute all men and women that serve in our armed forces. In 1949, President Truman designated the third Saturday in May as Armed Forces Day due to the unification of all 5 branches of our military into the Department of Defense.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Up the middle.
River City Hardball, presented by D-Bat Jacksonville on 1010XL.
How awesome was that? I mean, last night, the University of North Florida softball team able to come through with a walk-off victory against Virginia and advance. Man, that was awesome to see Coach Jeff Conrad and their team just continue to play ball, and that was really cool. Andrew Gibson joining you here on 1010XL 92.5 FM, River City Hardball. Thanks to our man Sam producing the program this morning. But UNF, their first handful of tournament victories ever, and they're on their way to potentially going to a super regional. Now, UNF has to beat South Carolina, the regional host today in Columbia, twice. They have a doubleheader at 1 and 4, and we wish the best to the ladies of UNF as they had a pretty awesome, come from behind walk-off last night against the University of Virginia. And boy, Allison Benning, that girl has been a tremendous, just player for the UNF programs. A transfer from Oregon has been pretty phenomenal. Anyway, we wish the best to UNF as they continue on in the NCAA tournament, their first handful of victories ever as a program. So congratulations to the Ospreys. And with that, we welcome in our guest here on River City Hardball this morning. Renee Barrows is joining us. She's the general manager of D-Bat Green Cove. Renee, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your time. And we were just playing the highlight there from UNF. That's pretty cool to see, huh?
It really is. It's a lot of fun. This time of year for softball is the most exciting, right? You talk about March Madness, but in May, when it comes to softball, there's nothing like it. And to see a team locally doing so well. And I know Coach Conrad, getting the coach of the year and,
yes,
all of that. So just really, really cool. We got up to a game. I've got two girls, 6-1. So we got up to a game earlier this year and just love getting to be around it.
Well, and as you know, you have a softball background. Tell people a little bit about that. We're going to get into D-Bat Green Cove and what we're offering. We're actually going to give away today here on the show. We got 40 minutes left in our show. We today are going to give away an hour free lesson eligible for either Green Cove or Jax, and that's been a really cool opportunity for local baseball and softball players that maybe haven't had an opportunity to get coached up and be trained at a facility like D-Bat. We're going to give them that opportunity. But Renee, tell people a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so softball's been a part of my life since I was 7, and I never looked back. So I got to play travel ball. I played Division III ball up in Pennsylvania, and then I was a head coach at a Division III school for 4 years before transitioning to working remotely for NCSA, which is a recruiting company, one of the largest that helps athletes, go to play in college across all sports. So I'd moved into management with them and ultimately just needed to get my feet back on the ground, and so made some professional transitions, and that led to me actually going out to Minnesota. So my best friend was the GM out there of a brand new location that was opening up, and he's a former college coach as well. And so just trying to, really form a great team and be able to impact the community, baseball, softball out there. And so I was out there for about a year, and during that time met the owners of Jax and Green Cove, and just different circumstances made it the right fit for me to get down here as my next stop. So I've been here, June will be a year that I've been general manager at Green Cove. And like I said, softball and impacting lives through the game, like that's my biggest, professional goal and such.
That's awesome. Now, let me ask you this on a personal note. Minnesota to Florida, that's quite a change.
Yeah, a little bit all over. Grew up in Pennsylvania, so know the cold.
Yeah.
And then spent 8 years almost in Clearwater before I was in Minnesota. So Minnesota was a short stop just through some career transitions, right? But, thankful for all the experiences.
That's awesome. Tell us how things are going at Green Cove. How's business there? And tell people a little bit about Green Cove and their location.
Yeah, so I will say our owners did a fantastic job when they chose the location of Green Cove. I know they probably had considered multiple, but where we're at, we might not get the passerby traffic that just says, hey, we're driving by, we'll stop, but we pull from all over. We've got Middleburg to Orange Park to Palatka to St. Johns County, and we have such a wide variety. And so March was our 1 year. We've had a really, really great first year. One of the things that I love about D-Bat is we do have our corporate and multiple nationwide community, and amongst other locations as well. We do fairly well in terms of the business side of it and such, but we look to others to learn and to grow a lot as well. So we've had a really, really great first year, and we're excited for what that means moving forward too, because lots of opportunities still to grow.
Yeah, and speaking of opportunities, by the way, Renee Barrows is joining us. She's the general manager of D-Bat Green Cove, the newest facility in Jacksonville for D-Bat. They've got 2 locations here in the area, Jacksonville on Powers Avenue, and then where we're talking about in Green Cove. And tell people that may not be familiar with DBAT. What is DBAT for those? Because I want to always take a step back and not assume that everybody knows what DBAT is. Tell people what is DBAT and what can they learn there? How can their softball or baseball player be a part of it?
Yeah, so you're right. Like there's still a lot of people, even though we've been there a year, that say, man, I had no idea you were there. So DBAT as a whole, we operate on a membership basis, even though you don't have to be a member to come in and use the facility in any way. But as a member, you get daily access to our machines. There's discounts on all of our camps, clinics, lessons, cage rentals. But you also have access to our nationwide locations as well. So I love that, I get, calls from people that I have at other locations that say, hey, one of your teams just came through, right? And so they get to go there and they can hit just on their membership, that goes across wide. So memberships is kind of that first point. And then from there, lessons is really our big piece, because that's where athletes are really developing and growing, and our instructors get to mentor them athletically, but also beyond that, the mental game, just life in general, different things. So, I have a really fantastic group of instructors that invest in our athletes. We have a lot of clients that are very consistent with us. And so it becomes a little bit of a family when you see people coming in, week in and week out. And then beyond that, like I said, we have our camps and clinics. We've got summer camps coming up. So we do our week-long camps throughout the summer. And then we have our cage rentals, whether that's teams or individuals. And at different times, we'll do specials for teams and things like that, just to, help them make the most of their opportunities, especially when it's raining, right? We get packed out in there and, fill up quite a bit. But we love being able to help, both the individual athletes in those lessons and those one-on-one formats, but also, the teams and equip coaches when they, are trying not to miss, practice time. And sometimes even just a more productive practice where you're not having to, shag the entire field worth of balls, and you can get, a lot done in a cage.
So baseball and softball instruction, you can get both at DBAT Jacks or DBAT Green Cove here in the area. And, it's not just, hey, I can't go if I'm not a Division I prospect. I mean, you handle all levels. I mean, tell people about the age range.
Yeah. So I was just saying that to somebody yesterday, that one of mine, they were looking for a good fit instructor, and I had one available for them yesterday, same day, which typically we can, but not always the case. And I just said, hey, he works with everybody from some of our, 5 and 6 year olds that are just getting started to athlete that's heading off to University of Florida next fall. Right. So we really do have such a wide variety. We have athletes that are in college that come back on their breaks and still work with our instructors. But we do have, athletes that are literally just picking up a bat for the first time, which is really cool to be able to impact right from the beginning, but also to see those off at a higher level as well.
One thing I think that a lot of parents think about whenever they try to choose someone like DBAT is, who's training my kids? What can I expect? Tell people about that, because you have some very qualified instructors, people that have lived it, played it throughout the years. So tell our audience a little bit about your staff.
Yeah, so all of our instructors have at minimum played at the college level. Most have coached college ball, or from the baseball side, some have played professionally even that we've had at times. So everyone come from a pretty thorough background and, have played successfully, have done some level of coaching in some fashion, at a higher level. And, I think one of the things that I've always loved about the DBAT model is it's hard to pick an instructor sometimes to really figure out who that right fit is. And I do some lessons still as well. I couldn't do it if I weren't still in the cages a bit. I was
going to ask you about that.
If I weren't in the cages a bit still. So that's where my heart's at. But I know I'm not necessarily the right fit for every kid either. So, what I love is that, they can have a lesson with an instructor. And if for some reason it isn't the right fit, we have other options for them to try. So that's one thing that's great about DBAT. Well, yes, and honestly, we don't really have that shuffle too much. A lot of them, find that who they start with is, where they stick. But if for some reason, whether it's schedule changes, whether it's just needing a little bit of a different, voice once in a while, or maybe their instructor's out of town and they don't want to miss reps, right?
Yeah.
We have that option for them to work. And again, that I'm confident in any of the instructors I offer to them that they're going to get a quality, time with that instructor.
Well, and one of the many things that I love about DBAT is that you guys are so hands-on. Like, for example, some of the ownership group, guys like Corey Warren and Zach Phillips, and I know Zach is in South Carolina now, but still operates here locally. But guys like Corey Warren, who, he'll strap on the catcher gear and get in there, and he's one of the owners,
Yeah.
So I just love the fact that you guys are so hands-on about it.
Yep. So Corey still operates primarily out of our Jacks location. Most of our owners do. But he's down every Wednesday doing some lessons in the cages still. And then I know Eddie up at Jack's, another one of our owners up there, he's doing lessons constantly still. So I love, again, as I've gotten to know DBAT across the board, there's some, business owners that have found it a great investment, but I love that our ownership group, like they're from the ground up. They all were instructors at one time or another. They know, the model in and out, and they are passionate about the impact that they get to make, through the game. And they've been doing it for, almost 15 years now. So I love that I get to be a part of, that particular aspect.
Renee Barrows is the general manager of DBAT Green Cove here in the Jacksonville area. They've been open just over a year. Go check them out. Tell people how you can find Green Cove. Where can they go to find you?
Yeah, so we are right at the end of the Shands Bridge there on 17. So it's a really easy find if you're familiar with, the little lot there that's got the Larry's. I know everybody kind of knows Larry's.
Yeah.
That's what we reference. But like I said, kind of a central hub. So we're right there at the end of the Shands. Excited for the expressway, I guess, that's going in the next few years and how that's going to draw some, easier traffic for people as well. But yeah, so that's where we're physically located, dbatgreencove.com. All of our membership information, lessons, our instructor bios, our camps that we're offering, everything is on there. Memorial Day camp coming up, and then summer camps, shortly behind.
Awesome. Something that we're going to do right now, and something that we've done in the past couple of shows, is we are giving our audience, our Jacksonville area, North Florida opportunity to have a 1 hour free lesson that's eligible for either Green Cove or DBAT Jacks. And we're going to do that right now. So if you have a son or daughter that plays baseball or softball, and what we'd like to do is we'd like to have someone that's never had a lesson before. We'd like to get someone in, whoever it might be, baseball or softball player that's never had a lesson before. We'd like to have you in our facilities at Jacks or Green Cove. So here's what you need to do. Text us right now, 904-641-1010. Text us right now. Don't call. Don't put Sam to work in there. Call us. Text us right now, 904-641-1010, and tell us why you think your son or daughter should have the option to have a 1 hour free lesson at DBAT Jacks or DBAT Green Cove. Text right now, 904-641-1010. Tell us why you want it. We've had a couple winners so far. About 2 months ago, we had someone that texted in and said, "Hey, my name's Paul. My son JP is 7 years old. He's playing rec ball at the beach, and he's never had a lesson before. And this would be an awesome opportunity to get him in there." I mean, Renee, I think that kind of stuff is cool.
It really is. Just, again, you're getting them from the ground up and introducing them to the game. For me, it's been a game that's changed my life in many ways. It's impacted my life, again, since I was 7 and such. So it's just, to me, to be able to get in at that age, and when they haven't maybe figured out how, if they love the game or, what sport they might take to. But we get to get in there and they get to learn from some people that are pretty passionate about it.
We are going to pick the best text that we receive at the end of the show, 904-641-1010. Tell us why your son or daughter wants to go and have a lesson for free. We're talking free. 1 hour lesson at Jacksonville DBAT or Jacksonville Green Cove. The DBAT facilities both there in the area. We're giving away a free lesson right now, 904-641-1010. Text us right now and tell us your situation. Hey, I've got a son, I've got a daughter. They would love that free lesson. What's next? And so once we get that text from you, we'll pick the best one that we like, and we'll get a free lesson in there for Jacksonville or Green Cove. Renee, before we let you go, tell people about the summer camps that are coming up.
Yeah, so summer camps, they're going to be week long. They're 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday for the weeks that we offer. And you can come for the entire week, but you can come for just one day too. So our instructors that are in those lessons, they're the ones that are running, those camps and such as well. So there'll be kind of a variation of which one's in which days and such. But just a really great opportunity. Again, kind of that foundation from the ground up. It might be an athlete that's never, played at all before. Mm-hmm. It might be somebody that's played a little bit more, but they're going to really work in a good variety of drills. They're going to have some fun games, get to know some other new athletes and make some friends and stuff, but work with some really great instructors also. So we start those up here coming up in June.
What are your hours? Are you open today? How can people, the website, is that the best way to find the hours?
Yeah, website's a great place for any of our information, but we are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6, and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6. So we are open 7 days a week, and we have lesson availability 7 days a week, cages and such as well.
Excellent stuff. Renee, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio this morning. Once again, 904-641-1010. If you want a free lesson for DBAT Jacksonville or Green Cove, please see if you can select someone that's never had it before. We'd like to, train from the ground up, as Renee just said so well. 904-641-1010. The texts are rolling in right now, so we appreciate that. We're going to pick one here at the end of the show, and we appreciate that. Renee, thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Renee Barrows, the general manager of DBAT Green Cove. We appreciate her partnership, and also with the guys at Jax, Corey Warren, Zach Phillips, Trent Peterson, all those guys, Eddie Smith, tremendous partners here from DBAT Jacksonville, DBAT Green Cove here on our program, River City Hardball. They've been with us since day one, so we really appreciate their partnership. When we return, we're going to have the head coach of the UNF Ospreys, Joe Mercadante, joins us on the phone after a series win against crosstown rival JU in the River City Rumble. The Ospreys took 2 out of 3 this weekend. Coach Merck is going to join us in a few moments here on River City Hardball on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
He was the best back in Jacksonville.
It has to be Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill Monday mornings at 8:30.
A tough guy.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I don't see how a new air conditioner is going to work out for me.
Well, you like air conditioning, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. But a new air conditioner could be expensive.
Well, not if you...
to save up the money, I probably have to give up my extra hot skim latte every morning. Now I fall asleep during a staff meeting, get volunteered for the summer picnic committee, and end up sitting in the dunk tank all afternoon getting water up my nose.
Okay, look at it this way. Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing puts in a new AC. We hook you up with affordable financing, and you stay cool and comfortable for just $149 a month. Cool?
Cool. I see it now.
Life can be hard on your budget. If you suffer through the heat because of a broken AC you could totally afford to replace, you could visit.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Swing into the hottest party of the summer. Join First Tee Door Florida at the Yards on June 12th for the Summer Soiree Baja Beach Bash. We're bringing the vibrant spirit of Cabo San Lucas to the First Coast for an evening of family-friendly fun. Enjoy live music, craft cocktails, golf games, raffle prizes, and delicious Mexican-inspired cuisine from Taco Lu. Golf, fiesta, and philanthropy, all to support the impactful programs of the First Tee. Visit firstteenorthflorida.org/summer soiree to secure your tickets today.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with prices that don't break the bank and our wow ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing to provide you with a peace of mind. You better beat the surge and head to the all-new Beaver Toyota or Chevrolet for the car buying experience you deserve.
First of all, congratulations on the show.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
How do you like being in a real studio?
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice. Find the middle of the fairway with your drives. Get the golf tips and talk to keep you straight.
That's a great tee shot.
On the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL.
It's May, and that means it's Founders Month here at Sonny's Barbecue. Every Wednesday, we're celebrating with $7 pork big deal served with a sidekick and a drink, or one of our pork and rib combos for just $11. It's our way of saying thanks for letting us be your local pitmasters. So stop in for great deals on the Q you crave. Founders Month specials at Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. River City Hardball, presented by DBAT Jacksonville on 1010XL.
We welcome you back here to River City Hardball here on a Sunday morning here in Jacksonville. Boy, the temperatures are about to start heating up, aren't they, in the 90s now? We appreciate you joining us here. Thank you to Renee Barrows, the general manager of DBAT Green Cove. Also, thank you to John Murphy, Ethan Wheeler, Braden McKee, the battery that came in today from Trinity Christian Academy on their way to the Final Four. They leave tomorrow morning down to Fort Myers, and then they'll play on Tuesday. And the Final Four, let's welcome in right now the head coach of the UNF Ospreys, Joe Mercadante, joins us on the Checkmate Coatings hotline. Coach, coming off of a River City Rumble Series victory, how are you this morning?
Doing all right. A little bit better, be on the right side of that rivalry to finish up the regular season, but good. I'm actually at the baseball fields watching my son today, so it's leaving one field to go into another, so it's a great day.
I love it, Coach. We appreciate that. Hey, tell us about the rivalry, this aspect that you guys played against JU, and it's a crosstown rival, and it's so much fun to see you guys go at it, but taking 2 out of 3, as you mentioned, being on the right side, how do you guys feel about this series after now playing 3 in a row against them?
Yeah, I mean, some real good positive momentum as we head into the ASUN, conference tournament. I think anytime, rivalries are fun no matter what school you're at. And I've been a part of some really heated rivalries at all the places I've played and coached, and this is no different. I think regardless of the impact it has on, standings or postseason, getting you in or not, I think it's you guys are always going to get up and want to win this series. It's a lot of former teammates, a lot of friends on the other side, and so certainly the competitive juices are flowing for that series, and our guys played really well in the 2 out of the 3 games that we won, and it was good to see the resilience that we showed in that third game to be able to clinch the series yesterday.
Coach, man, there were some crooked numbers in this series, as you might say. 15 for you guys in the game 1. They got 15 in game 2. There was a lot of runs scored in this one.
There was, and I think, both coaching staffs coming in knowing you got the conference tournament on tap for the next week. I think you got to be smart about your pitching. You're not throwing your starters for extended innings. You're just making sure you get them some work to get them crisp. So it certainly was going to be a bullpen series kind of coming into it. But it was good for us knowing that. And we told the guys coming in there's going to have some opportunities. And we felt like a couple guys on the back end really had some good outings for us, which hopefully kind of springboards them into the conference tournament, which we're going to need them if we're going to win that thing and get into an NCAA regional.
Coach, give us some standouts from that River City Rumble series for you guys. Who are maybe a handful of guys that really showed well for you?
I mean, Nick Moneill has just been a spark plug for us the entire season. And, both games we won, he was a big presence out of the leadoff spot. Had multiple hits on the Thursday night win, and then yesterday a double and a home run, 4 RBIs. He's just been kind of that grinder, spark plug, walks more than strikeouts. He's going to see 7-8 pitches every at bat. He's not going to punch out. He just really sets the tone for us, and he had a really big game for us in both those games. Thursday night, Drew Leinenbach had a big day for us on the bottom of the order, and that's been a big thing for us when we can get some production out of the bottom half of the order. He did a really good job for us. And then, yesterday, James Oman, has been kind of a platoon guy for us against left-handed starters and had a big swing, had a two-run home run for us to kind of give us some space early in the game. So, those 3 really did a nice job for us, kind of making a difference in the lineup and kind of, getting some momentum going in the game. I mean, on the pitching side, we had a great start out of Clay Hendry, who's been our Friday guy for the past, probably second half of the season, did a really nice job. Yesterday, Trevor Nicholas, true freshman, came out and gave us 4 really strong innings to start. That was really nice to see. And then, obviously the back end of the bullpen, Zane Starling had a really good outing for us. It was good to see Brandon Adams back out there, who'd been banged up a little bit. And, Clayton Borowski's been outstanding for us the entire season. So all those guys really had a hand in it, and that's kind of been the story of our team this year. It's not going to be 1 or 2 guys on both sides. It's going to be, collectively we're going to have 5 or 6 guys on the staff, 5 or 6 guys offensively that got to help us. We don't have anybody that can kind of throw them on their back and carry the entire team, and that's not really how you want it, because those guys can hit cold streaks. You got to have some length, some depth in both sides for sure.
And you mentioned James Oman, that home run yesterday. That was a big one for him and for you guys, to extend the lead against JU. James is a local guy from St. John's Country Day. Tell me about James's development and how you've seen him come along.
Yeah, James has been one of those guys that, has just really worked and continued to make adjustments. He's a very, talented guy, has a lot of power, and I think the big thing for him is the work he's put in with Coach Wilkerson, really developing his approach, making sure, he's swinging at the right pitches, and certainly is kind of our solution for left-handed starters in the outfield, and has really kind of embraced that role. And like I said, had a big swing for us yesterday, and there's a good chance we're going to see a left-handed starter probably game one of the conference tournament. So great for him to have that confidence going into to a big game for us.
Joe Mercadante, the head coach of the UNF Ospreys, joining us right now on the Checkmate Coatings hotline here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM as they come off of a River City Rumble Series victory, 2 out of 3 against the JU Dolphins this weekend. Coach, I just love the rivalry because you've got, as you mentioned before, guys that are from here on either side. You just look through your lineup and local guys. We just talked about James Oman, Connor Moore's a guy, another one that played at St. John's. Just kind of go through your lineup, and there's a lot of local guys. Seth Alford, another one. Just look over there across the way at JU, Blake DeLameleur, and just so many local guys. Clayton Hodges is an Episcopal guy for JU. I mean, that's a cool thing to see local guys play against each other, right?
Absolutely. And I think it really, like I said, keeps the competitiveness up, but more importantly, speaks to the strength of the sport of baseball in this area. And that was one of the things taking this job. I was really, pleased to know is you got a really good recruiting base and really talented baseball players, 30 miles in any direction from UNF's campus. And that certainly is on display when you see a highly competitive and really good baseball series like we saw this weekend. So it just speaks volumes for the area and the type of baseball players we have here. And certainly one of those things we're going to continue to see through the next couple of years.
Coach, how do you feel about where your team's at right now heading into this conference tournament?
I feel good. I think we're really kind of starting to hit our stride. I think, once we were able to enter this last week knowing we had a spot in the conference tournament, I think it took a little pressure off our guys. I think we've got to be able to play kind of that loose, aggressive style, and it's hard to commit to that when you're still unsure of if you're going to continue to play, and certainly it looked like we kind of embraced that this weekend. I think, the big series win last week against Queens was big for us, having to come behind victory and late night on Saturday night to clinch that series and ultimately a spot in the conference tournament. It's good for us. We've won 5 of our last 6. I think we've really played really good defense, which has been a key for us, limiting the freebies and making sure we make the other team earn it. So, the starting pitching's been pretty solid for us. And obviously, having a guy like Caden Humphrey in the back end, anytime you can get him a lead, he's as good as there is in the country, in my opinion, as a closer. So feel good about that stuff. And I think just continuing to put together innings offensively is going to be a big key for us. Getting the leadoff guy on, being able to move him around, being able to be efficient in those situational at-bats has been something that at times this year we've been really good at, and we certainly have to continue that trend to have some success next week.
Coach, on a personal level, how do you feel about your time here so far and how things are developing for the program that you're building there at UNF?
I feel really good. I think we've seen steady improvement from last year to this year. I feel like we're getting the right type of guys into our program, guys that want to win, that want to work, that want to embrace the mentality that we have, which is, every day we're trying to get better. We're working towards something, and there's a lot of competition in our practices, a lot of competition when the lineup's written out every day, and that's what we want. And we want guys that want to be pushed by each other and are going to push the guys around them, and feel really good about the group of guys we have in that locker room, and they're going to continue that trend. We had an exceptional group of seniors this year. Senior day was tough this year. You had a couple of guys that, with the coaching change, decided not to go in the portal and hang with us and stay with us through the process, and that's always a good thing when you have outstanding young men that want to buy into the program you're trying to build and the things that you really prioritize. So that's a good thing as well. But we're going to have, some big spots to fill for the guys we're losing this year, and I'm very excited about the guys we're bringing in. But, yeah, really, really thankful for the guys we have in the locker room, the gentlemen I get to coach with every day. I feel really good about the future of the program.
Coach Mercadante, let's get you out on this one. All right, let's set the table for people down at Stetson, the ASUN baseball tournament coming up this week, beginning on Tuesday. So it looks like you guys have grabbed the 4 seed in the graphite division. Explain that a little bit for us.
Yeah, so this year the ASUN was a little different in our regular season scheduling. They had the graphite, and I forget the color of the other division, but kind of, geographically kept the schools a little bit more located around each other to kind of limit flight. So we had, the bear of the graphite division, which means you were playing Stetson 2 series, Florida Gulf Coast 2 series, JU 2 series, Queens, West Georgia. So it was kind of like a pro ball regular season where you got to play 2 separate series. And so there's not a whole lot of surprises. And I think that really kind of set the game up where, guys just had to go out there and play the game. There wasn't any tricks that were going to come out of the bullpen or new faces, and really kind of kept it a pure game for us. But now you get to cross divisions. That's the cool thing about how this setup is. The first round of the A-Sun are going to be teams that nobody's played this year. So now it's really going to, put some emphasis and some strength on scouting and game planning and really, hitting the video and trying to figure out who your opponent is and scouting them out and trying to figure it out. So we've got a really tough challenge for us. Austin Peay's the regular season champ in the A-Sun, won their conference kind of going away. They can really score runs. They're kind of a dynamic offense. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, but we're really good about our pitching. And if we're able to execute like we should, play good defense behind us, we're going to find ways to scrap some runs across the board and put together a good offensive game plan. So I'm excited for the challenge.
It looks like gold is the other one. Gold and graphite is where we're going.
There you go.
So you guys will have, looks like Tuesday, you guys are going to suit up and play at 12:30 against Austin Peay. Is that correct?
It's going to be a hot one. Already hydrating, getting the guys prepared. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's got to be a bonus and advantage for us. It's not quite the same up there in Tennessee as it is here down in Florida. So hopefully our guys are prepared for the heat. And, it's one of the things that we kind of, us Floridians, live with it and die with it. So we know we can battle through it. It's going to be a good game for sure.
Awesome. Well, Coach, hey, as I let you go, I wanted to mention softball. I mean, how jacked and glued to what softball's doing are you guys? Coach Conrad and them, a walk-off last night beating Virginia. That's pretty cool stuff.
I mean, what an awesome run they're on right now. And obviously they've got a once-in-a-lifetime talent, Allison Benning, but just the team, the depth, the tough at-bats, the pitchers that they're running out there. With my sons and I were there glued to it for the walk-off yesterday. Yeah. Last week, it kind of worked itself out. We were in a rain delay right when they were clinching the conference tournament, so our team was able to watch on the scoreboard while we're sitting in the dugout during the rain delay. So it's kind of worked itself out that we've been able to tune in and be right on their side the whole time, and certainly wishing them the best today against South Carolina and hoping they can kind of keep the magic going.
Absolutely. Coach Merck, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the River City Rumble Series victory and all the best in the A-Sun tournament coming up this week.
As always, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate everything you do for the sport, man. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Coach Joe Mercadante, the head coach of the UNF Ospreys, joining us on the Checkmate Coatings hotline here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We'll take a timeout. We'll wrap things up on the other side when we return here on River City Hardball, presented by D-Bat Jacksonville and D-Bat Green Cove.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we got to bring my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
This Saturday, Navy Mutual would like to salute all men and women that serve in our armed forces. In 1949, President Truman designated the third Saturday in May as Armed Forces Day due to the unification of all 5 branches of our military into the Department of Defense.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music. The window's down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
In your car or out of your car.
Get me out of this car.
Take 1010XL with you wherever you go.
We're online and ready.
By downloading our free 1010XL app. Available for all smartphones and tablets.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through May 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. River City Hardball. Presented by D-Bat Jacksonville on 1010XL.
Okay, welcome you back here to River City Hardball. Final few moments here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. I want you to hear some thoughts from Jeff Conrad. He's the head coach of the UNF softball team. They had a walk-off last night, beating Virginia to advance to the regional finals today. They have to beat South Carolina twice this afternoon in the Columbia Regional. Here are some thoughts from earlier this morning from Coach Conrad.
Yeah, I think we feel good. I mean, obviously we played them really tough. Yesterday it was 0-0 game, I think in the 5th, 6th inning maybe. So we'll stay focused on what we've done all year, and that's, what's directly in front of us. We understand we got to win game one, and we'll be, dialed in and ready to go and do everything we can to get that first one. Obviously, if we can do that, we feel like we'll pick up, a lot of momentum going into game two. And, we'll try to do everything we can to get that victory in game one and give us a chance to just not only keep playing and extend these seniors' careers, but, give us a chance to, come down to one game for a trip to the Super Regionals.
Jeff Conrad, the head coach of UNF softball, their first wins ever as a program in the tournament. They've advanced to the regional finals today against South Carolina. Congratulations to UNF. What an awesome run they're on after a walk-off last night against the University of Virginia. So best of luck to the ladies and Coach Conrad today, as they have to beat South Carolina twice in order to move on to the Super Regionals. That's going to just about wrap things up. We got a few moments here left, and I want to thank our sponsor, D-Bat Jacksonville, D-Bat Green Cove. Also, thank you to Serafina's Pizza, as those Trinity Christian guys were going out today. I handed those guys a $25 gift card to Serafina's Pizza, Racetrack Road, New York-style pizza. It is phenomenal. My wife and I went to another place that she wanted to go to yesterday. I tried the signature pizza at the place that I won't name, and it doesn't even come close to Serafina's. Serafina's on Racetrack Road is phenomenal, and you got to check them out. Also want to thank Russ Voris for sponsoring our UNF coverage this year. Russ Voris, State Farm agent, offices in Orange Park and also in Jacksonville Beach. Russ is a major supporter of high school and local baseball here around the area. We appreciate Russ. And as we go here today, our text that wins the free lesson at D-Bat Jacks or Green Cove from the 439, my brother Jimmy is not very good at hitting, and every weekend he strikes out. It makes me want to cry. I think this is kind of a joke for his brother, but I'm going to hook these guys up with the free 1-hour lesson. So congratulations, 439. You are the winner of the 1-hour free lesson at D-Bat Jacks, D-Bat Green Cove. That's going to do it for us this season. We appreciate all of our sponsors. Best of luck to UNF softball, and also good luck to Trinity Christian as they try to bring home a state championship this weekend in Fort Myers. They're going to play Tuesday. Congratulations and best of luck to those guys. Thanks to Sam for producing the program. For all involved, my name's Andrew Gibson. Thanks for joining us on River City Hardball, presented by D-Bat Jacksonville and D-Bat Green Cove. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
If you need a game plan for the weekend, I'll tell you my takes for some of the weekend's best options. 1010XL's Dan Hicken here. Watch for